it's dawned on me that you ain't coming back. I've lost my chance to see us find our way back. And in the end, amidst these trying times, I'll always try to find you. I'll lie to you to find the truth that you hold back. So stay with me. You know that I'll follow. I can't breathe. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart. Dramatically talk to me, and it's so funny, you're all I wanted, and I can't talk, want you out of my life, so say none. I'll wait for days if you ain't one, I'll say none. So stay with me, you know that I'll follow. I can't breathe, together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The three wide again, Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across, they're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been loved and a terrific show out. All the way from back there. Go on board with Ben Gregory now. I love it. 16.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening indeed, and welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to another race meeting here in the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series, sponsored by Butt Kicker. It's fantastic to be here at not Sonoma, as I thought it would have been. Apologies for that. There had been an update issued for the calendar, but my silly old backside had forgotten to update my own calendar at my end, which I used to basically resort to when talking to other drivers about race meetings and so on. Anyway, my name is Chaz Draycott. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to Long Beach. Wow, what a fantastic place. What a fantastic place to go racing. Of course, the World Endurance Championship had its, IMSA had its recent visit to Long Beach. The Drift GP as well, the Formula Drift guys were here as well not too long ago. That final sector that you see on the right hand side of that track map there was being used for their course, and it's just amazing to watch drift cars around such a tiny space like this. And of course tonight we're going to be watching the GR86s around such a small space as well. And there's a bit of small space between the drivers in the Drivers' Championship, although the big gap at the top is that of Alex Davidson's. He is the top of the pile ahead of Michael Evdoka, his teammate for Pure Sims Esports. Those two well on their way to rounding up the team's championship crown. Behind them, Michael Hafliderson is in third place, just ahead of his teammate Matthew Crisp. For some reason his name has not changed in terms of what team he's on there, but Matthew is part of the AM racing team, so apologies, I'll get that changed. There you go. And then you see Pete Newman in fifth place for Pure Sims SimLab. Pete's had a consistent season, to be fair. A couple of incidents here and there, but he's still got the job done up to this point. Christoph Karekis in sixth, ahead of Jesper Eriksson. James Neve is the highest placed of all of the AM drivers at the moment. Esteban Rodriguez, one of the pro drivers, wasn't there at the last round, but he is ahead of Maciej Sakovic, who rounds out your top 10. It's very, very close, though, and we need to keep our eye on the AM Championship, because Maciej Sakovic and James Neve are fighting for the honours there. Here is Christoph Karekis, currently fastest in the practice session at the moment. And you can see a couple of different names on the list. We have Akram Zinoune just behind there in this black machine, the Moroccan driver for AOB Racing, taking part for the remainder of the season. Currently the fastest AM driver as well at this moment in time. Doesn't seem like his livery is loaded properly though for some reason, so apologies for that. But hopefully we can get that sorted. Someone's just gone in the wall. We do have Haflidi Johansson as well. He is a privateer in the championship, although running in the AM Racing Team colours for this round. And if you can put two and two together, you'll know that based on Swedish and a lot of Scandinavian naming cultures, Hafliderson is obviously because Michael's surname becomes his dad's name with son after it. That's what happens in Iceland as well. I remember being over there and being told the same thing. So, you know, if somebody was my son, my first name is actually Charles, not Chaz. So if I had another son and it was an Icelandic way, you know, Harry would actually be called Harry Charleston instead of Harry Draycott. What is that dip all about on the right hand side there? Did you see that? What is that about? How strange. Anyway, new drivers on the grid, great to see, very exciting. Let's go on board with Matty Wild and have a look just at how wild Long Beach is as he goes round the right-hander. Now you're going sort of opposite the start-finish straight. You'll see cars on the right-hand side braking for turn one into the left-hander. Long 90 left here, really tough to get this right. It's not a forgiving circuit at all here at Long Beach, it really isn't. And then on to the really long back straight, all the way down. This is down Ocean Boulevard towards Cook's Corner, as it used to be anyway on one of the very old layouts of Long Beach. There's been many iterations of this circuit. It's now Seaside Way into Firestone Turn, Indy left, and then the start-finish straight known as Shoreline Drive. A long curve down towards turn one is called Bridgestone. Great to have you all with us in the chat though tonight. Medmo, Matt Alexander is in the chat as well. Martin Kenyon there, and Danny Solo saying lap 1 pile up. I hope not, mate. But you never know. You never know at Long Beach, do you? It's a lively old place. Let's go back on board. Oh, okay. Sorry, Rob. Rob Padgham just having a moment through there. Here's Matty Wilde actually going into the fountain. Hopefully not literally into the fountain as he comes out of Toyota. Then he's got 2 right-handers. And then he's got the left-hander not long after this. Look at the apex curb there. It's so hard to get that right. You can't see a great deal when you're on board with these cars either, to be honest with you. Look at how hard you've got to push, because the thing is, a lot of the exits of these corners on this circuit are blind, so you can't see too much of them on the way out. And look at that tyre wall there sticks out so much. Matty Wilde only just missing it. Michael Avdoka at the moment, currently 5th fastest as the times roll in. I said earlier that it was practice, it's actually qualifying this, so drivers really do need to make the most of this. Here is Avdoka then down through Bridgestone towards Toyota. The first corner here at Long Beach. There's a bit of runoff on the right hand side. You can go a little bit over that blue line, but not too much. You need to be careful. Again, look, you can't see the exit of the corner until you get to it. Hug the wall on the right, straight line the fountain as much as possible. Just make it a right-hander rather than a left-right-left. There's 2 right-handers for him now. Lots of curb on the inside to try and tempt you inwards, and again, look there, you can get a slowdown penalty if you just cut that a little bit too much. Avdoka is a very focused character when it comes to his racing. The wall sticks out on the right a little bit there in the braking zone. There's a bit of a kink to it, so it's very difficult to make sure that you get it right. And again, another long right-hander before Seaside Way, and down he goes. 49 thousandths between the top few places at the moment, but Avdoka, well, he's currently 4 tenths off. We'll show you what the sector times are looking like. Rob Padgham's just about to cross the line and get his lap on the board. Then it's going to be Ian Manners. No improvements yet from Avdoka. Christoph Karekis has done a personal best sector 1, but I don't think he's going to have enough in the tank to really open up that lead. Let's see if he improves. Doesn't look like it. Nothing from Avdoka. A purple sector in the middle there for Jesper Eriksson, actually. Avdoka crosses the line, and no, it's no improvement from him. A 32.469. Here is Jesper Eriksson on a mission at the moment. Around the final corner he goes. He's got to be so tidy out there, not hit the wall and get a what they call a 0x. Across the line goes the Swede. 6th place at the moment with a 132.5, and he improves. A 132.0 puts Jesper Eriksson in 4th place, ahead of Zinune, ahead of Avdoka, but he's still behind Crisp, Herfliderson, and this man, Christoph Karekis, top of the pile. Marcus Adams is about to put his first lap on the board by the look of it. Really running out wide there. This is the part of the circuit they were using for the drifting. It looks a lot smaller when you're on board here on iRacing. Into the hairpin. Across the line, Zinune is in front there, but he's not going to put a time on the board that's an improvement. Let's see what Marcus Adams can do. Where does that put him on the board? Is he going to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd in AM? No, not even a valid time for Marcus Adams. So he goes on to what is now another fast lap. You can hear from the camera angle that we're at here, there's just cars all around us at all times. Lovely shot there as Marcus makes his way through the fountain. Ian Manners is just on his way in there as well now. Avdoka crosses the line again. Improves in the 1st sector, but not overall on that lap. Michael Herfliderson, I think, has given up on his lap. Matty Wilde is going to be next up. Herfliderson is still pushing, actually. Oh no, he has crossed the line, apologies. Matty Wilde is the next one to put a valid time on the board. And that moves him up 1 place ahead of Pete Newman. Interesting to see Pete that far down, actually, in 10th position. We've only got a minute and a half left of this session. There is, I believe, Jesper Eriksson coming out of the pit lane. It is. He just gets out of the way of the guys around him. Haflider Johansson. Oh, he's had a moment there at the final hairpin. Gets back up to speed again. Akram Zinune has done a personal best. Marcus Adams has done a personal best. 2 personal bests in the middle sectors, I should say. Let's see what Akram does as he crosses the line. The Moroccan, does he improve at all? He's currently 5th fastest, highest placed AM in the field. No improvement. What about Adams? Padgham puts his time on the board and goes 15th with a 1:34.757. Good aircraft. There's still 3 drivers that haven't set times, and I think it's due to qualifying bans, potentially. Alex Davidson hasn't put a time on the board. Jean-Baptiste Mesida and Marcus Adams all not putting times in yet. And there's only 30 seconds left, so I say that as if they're going to try and put laps in now anyway. Here's Michael Hafliderson. I'm going to say it differently many a times over the course of the night. They've got Matthew Crisp just behind as well, actually. Crispy coming with them now out of the final corner. Look at the run down the start-finish straight. It's a long gold bit of circuit in these cars. Looks very fast and very short in a GT car or a prototype, but in these little production cars, oh, it's a big old straight. It's not even a straight. Matthew Crisp there hitting the wall. I'm not sure if that's going to invalidate his lap time or not. He might have got away with that. Great little trio of drivers here as Marcus Adams pops up the order. Marcus goes 12th. That puts him 5th in the AMS. Matthew Crisp has actually done purple first sector here. I'm not sure if it's going to count though, because he's still got the potential of hitting that wall. There's a big hit to the wall. How are they doing ahead of him though? Jesper Eriksson got 1 green sector so far. As he's really pushing it, he's sideways. The drifting was a couple of weeks ago, mate. And he's given up on the lap. Flyderson's gone through. Crispy's gone through a little bit sideways as well. And he's not gone through with it actually as Crispy goes by. He's practicing his starts instead. Crispy crosses the line. Is it an improvement? Doesn't look like it. There's Haflider Johansson, and well, he's around in the barrier now, unfortunately. And Zinune was there as well, but I think that is that from those guys. I think they have completed their session, and that is going to be it for qualifying. You can hear the crowd all loving life around the circuit. And you can see that the conditions, of course, are beautiful here in iRacing. We do not have rain available to us just yet. But of course, iRacing doing their best to tease it and bring it our way when they can. Let's have a look at our first grid of the night then, shall we? Christoph Karekis takes pole position ahead of Michael Hafliderson. And then alongside them, or behind them I should say, is Matthew Crisp and Jesper Eriksson on row 2. Akram Zinune makes a great debut in the AM class, starting 5th. Ahead of Michael Evdoka, Maciej Sakovic and Andy Scheel make up row 4. Then we have Matty Wilde in 9th place ahead of Pete Newman, who rounds out your top 10. James Neve, the AM Championship leader, is ahead of Marcus Adams on row 6. And then we have Ian Manners and Haflider Johansson. Martin Kenyon and Rob Padgham were the last 2 qualifiers in 15th and 16th. And then Alex Davidson and JB Mesida will line up potentially, I think, at the back of the grid. But it doesn't seem like Alex or JB are there right now. So we've got a few cars lined up on the grid ready to go. And he's been known as Dadfly. Is that right? Dadfly or Dadfly? That's Haflider Johansson, basically. Hope you're all having a wonderful evening there, everybody. Those of you that are watching, thank you for jumping in this evening. And there is your pole sitter, Christoph Kirekis. Interesting that he effectively starts on the outside for the long curve here at Bridgestone. And that is going to be our grid. So no Davidson, no Masida. This is a chance for Evdoka to gain points. He's 6th on the grid. But round 16 of the World GR86 Series from Long Beach is underway, and I had to jinx it. Evdoka's got an amazing start by the look of it, but he's jumped the start. Definitely jumped the start there. Kirekis has to defend on the left-hand side from Hafliderson. He wants to go down the inside into turn 1. I don't think he's going to make that work, though. They're nearly 3 wide there in the middle. Crispy has to back out of it. Ericsson wants to go in there as well. Look at how hard they're fighting into turn 1 already. Hafliderson wants to try and get through on Kirekis. Evdoka's now down the inside. Sakovic has gone up into first place in the AM class. Zanune's had a real poor start. He's dropped a couple of spots. Look at the check-up through there. They really have to be patient and wait for one another. There's a little bit of contact further back. But Kirekis and Hafliderson, wow, they were going at each other's throats off the line, straight off the bat. Amazing. Really amazing how busy they got there early on. But keep your eye on Michael Evdoka, that white, blue, black and fluorescent yellow machine just in the background. He could potentially be serving a penalty here for jumping the start. It certainly looked like it. But it's Kirekis leading the field at the moment. Sakovic leading the way in the AM class. And the strange thing is for Majek as well, is that he's not actually gained any places. He is where he started this race. He's not moved up anywhere up the field. I get that the car volume might be a little bit loud, so apologies for that. Just turn them down just a little bit, so you can actually hear me over the top of them, because these things do make a racket. Matt Alexander saying, I'm cheering on for Matthew Crisp and Alex Davidson. Understandably, as into the pits does go Evdoka. Michael Evdoka did jump the start, and he is going to get a penalty for that. Like I said, it's his chance to gain championship points on his teammate Alex Davidson. But unfortunately, he's now thrown away a chance to score big. He's going to sit in the pits, and I think, yeah, it's just going to be a stop-go penalty for Michael, so he gets back going. But here's your race leader, Christoph Kirekis, so ahead of Michael Hafliderson, Matthew Crisp, the 2 AM Racing Team machines. Then we've got Jesper Eriksson and Andy Scheel is then ahead of Majek, Sakovic and Pete Newman. Again, these three have been racing together for so long, mainly under the WSR banner, and oh no, the WSR banner spins in front of them. Beautiful advertising, Andy, but flipping heck. So easy to do that here. Like I said before, just over that curb, look. That's the first one. He clips that a little bit hard. And then just a little bit too much over there. And as you get on the throttle and the car's slightly imbalanced, it'll go around on you very quickly. And Andy Scheel will have to recover from there. He's now down in 14th place amongst a bunch of the AM drivers. Don't forget, we have 2 classes in this championship. We have Pro and AM. As you'll see at the top of your screen there, you'll see the leaders in each class, and the drivers in those classes are shown to you by the coloured stripe next to their names on the timing tower on the left-hand side. There's, oh dearie me, contact with the wall there, sounding very brutal. And Sakovic and Pete Newman, again 2 drivers that have raced together for a long time, sort things out amongst them. Ian Manners and Marcus Adams are side by side down the start-finish straight. Here we go. It's Manners on the right and Adams on the left, and Manners obviously with that slightly shorter line on the right-hand side, getting the job done before they even get down to turn 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see Adams sort of sit behind him a little bit here and just try and chase, never mind, because Marcus has just ploughed it into the wall. I was going to say he might sit behind and make sure that they don't lose the car ahead, which would have been James Neve, but Marcus Adams just overdoes it into turn 1 there. He overdid it in the final corner actually, and Ian Manners got a nice run on him. And this is what happened to Marcus. Oh, you can see just... Actually, it was his own undoing, to be honest, because he moved over a little bit. Just watch it again. He moved over to the left-hand side to try and put pressure on Ian to say, look, I'm filling your mirrors. Then as he went over to the right, it sort of... It's unsettled the rear. It's unsettled the balance of the car, and in just trying to... Well, just trying to unsettle the car in front. He's unsettled himself more than anybody, unfortunately, for Marcus Adams. The car doesn't seem too damaged, so he's able to carry on. Fastest lap of the race was done last time by Jesper Eriksson. Flipping heck, he's all over those curbs. But the top three are getting slightly further away from him at the moment. 4 3/4 minutes gone, and it's Christoph Karekis leading the race. The Hungarian driver has been impressive this season, to say the least. And he's now opening up a bit more of a gap over the cars behind. The slipstream sort of keeping them together, but look at Michael Haflidason. He's pushing so hard, isn't he? Really is. They go on board now with the Swede. He's got his dad in the field as well now, so he needs to prove a point. He's got a lot of reason to go chasing the car in front and push on. Look how close they get to the walls around here as well. As, oh no, Marcus Adams has had more drama. Let's see what's gone on here. I think there might have been another incident as well for Johansson. Oh, it's the second time Adams has done that. And oh, that's a big hit. You're not coming back from that one. Andy Scheel has got past Johansson. What happens here to the 152 car? No, he just loses a bit of ground, basically. He just loses a bit of speed in staying on the outside of Andy Scheel, and then he's down the inside of Kenyon. Oh, and he just doesn't get the run off the corner, and then we'll lose another position. After that, Rob Padgham has now had problems, sorry. Haflidi Johansson has got past him because of this. Oh, just on that change down, it just gets away from him. That's quite a big hit into the wall, actually, because it's straight on into that concrete barrier. That is not going to feel nice at all. This isn't going to feel nice for Christoph Karekis either. He's got pressure from behind from Haflidason. Oh, Pete Newman's off. Pete Newman is now dropping down the order. Oh, no. Wow, how he didn't get hit there by James Neve, I don't know. James, of course, fighting for the AM Championship lead as well. He won't have been a fan of that one. So Pete Newman fighting with Maciej Sakovic, that is. He's later on the brakes. Oh, he just chucks it in well too hard. Bounces off the barrier. Maciej gets lucky. Oh, and Zanune doesn't get so lucky. Oof. I mean, there wasn't really anywhere else for Pete to go, to be fair. He could have reversed, but drivers will often try and avoid you and go behind your car in that situation, and I know that Pete knew that, so he wanted to move it out of the way. At least if you're on the outside of the corner, it's easier to spot you from a bit more of a distance. 7.5 minutes gone here at Long Beach, and Matthew Crisp is really trying to rattle on now and get chasing these cars ahead. We've got to move further down as Evdoka goes past Newman now. Newman just trying to recover back to the pits in what is a very broken car. Zanune's going well though, isn't he? Akram's really flying. Just looking to see if there's anybody making any big moves. Interestingly, Alex Davidson has appeared in the pit lane. So Alex is not in the car, but the car is there, at least in the pit lane, which makes a difference as the battle is on for the lead now. I think Karekis, oh dearie me, had a bit of a problem and has made a little bit of contact with Haflidason there. Wow. Feisty stuff. Karekis scaring him away. Matthew Crisp is going to have a front row seat for this. You could see Hafli just shining the lights, flashing the lights at him to say I wasn't a fan of that. Pete Newman has been in and out of the pits a couple of times by the look of it. I think he's now leaving the pits again after having his car repaired and serving whatever potential penalties he might have gotten for going the wrong way. Look at this now as we stay on board with Matthew Crisp. Andy Scheel and James Neve swapping places further down. Wow, that was close to the back of Haflidason's car. Down the start-finish straight again we go. The top three separated by just 0.6 of a second. Jesper Eriksson in the background. Looks like he's got a bit of damage on the front of that car, so I think He's potentially just nibbled the wall. Flyson trying to go around the outside. There's contact with the wall, and Karekis once again closing a gap that's got a car in it. Fliderson's fed up of it. He goes down the inside, and he's punted him. He's punted the left rear corner. I don't know if that was Karekis turning in, though, and knowing that Fliderson's there, expecting him to back out. Hopefully it doesn't all boil over much more than that. It was rough stuff. But Karekis defending was a little bit too tough there for Fliderson, and, well, he needed to just make it down the inside regardless. The two of them were moving around on each other quite a bit. Now Matthew Crisp watches his teammate lead the race with the privateer between the two of them. And we ride on board with Crispy as well, knowing just how spicy this could be in front. They're all rubbing the wall on the exit. Let's have a look at that again. So this is the initial move a little bit earlier. Oh, he's made a big run. Oh, right, so Karekis has an issue there. And the circuit does go over to the right there, and to be fair, Fliderson's trying to squeeze him to the inside, so I'd say if anything that contact is on Michael. Wow, that made me jump. But then in this one, I don't know. We'll have to go back on this and look a bit further back. Maybe that's a bit too far. Yeah, that's all we've got. So we'll go on, oh, excuse me, we'll go on the chopper cam. And you can see now, Michael Fliderson, the white car in the middle, he's going to get a really good run on Karekis on the exit. He's going to use the slipstream. And he will get a slight overlap here. Now, for those of you that don't know, in iRacing you do tend to get a spotter, which is just an audible cue to say that there's a car next to you when there is an overlap. And Fliderson, for me, there has an overlap. And Karekis has left a car width, but it's not a... I wouldn't say it's a reasonable car width. And then Fliderson goes down the inside. Yeah, Karekis goes to turn into the apex, and that's why the contact occurs. Karekis has now got back in front, by the way, so we've got another replay to look at. He's gone and done the same thing to him down the start, finish straight into turn one. Fliderson covers the left-hand side. Karekis moves around. Crisp tries to go with him. Karekis finds the gap. They nearly go three wide, and he gets it done. Nice, tidy stuff. Crispy gets lucky there as well not to hit the barrier. They're still separated by nothing, though. 12 minutes of this race gone, give or take. And it's the 2AM Racing Team teammates trying to chase down the Hungarian privateer, Krzysztof Karekis. This is what happens at the front when they're all left to play without any Pure Sims drivers about. This is the battle, by the way, for the AM class lead. Maciej Sakovic from Poland against the Moroccan Akram Zinoune. Akram's been an exciting addition to the championship already so far, and he's really on the pace here. No decal layer on the car, as we say, which is the sort of series stickers. You can see the butt kicker windscreen banners as the primary sponsor of the championship with the red and blue for the different classes, but for some reason said stickers have not come through at my end, so apologies. Hopefully we can sort that out. But Karekis still leading the race. Fliderson and Crisp trying to get through whatever way they can, and then Jesper Eriksson has these two for company behind him. There's, oh no, Dadfleet. Johansson's had an off. This is down at the final corner. Is he just going to clip the barrier? Yeah, way too easy to do that. Way too easy to do. Just clips it with the right-hand door, unfortunately. And Martin Kenyon has now had a drama down at the fountain. He gets going again. He's got Michael Avdoka behind him there. Michael, of course, recovering from the penalty that he got at the start of the race for jumping the start. He's still going to get some decent championship points for finishing this race, so provided that Alex Davidson doesn't take part in any of the races tonight, Michael will leapfrog him in the championship. Just looking up and down the timing screen, see if anybody's really standing out at the moment, but there's no sort of breakout pace from anybody at this moment in time. Karekis, well, that's a hill he's going to die on, that, isn't it? He's going to die on that hill of holding the inside line as Fliderson around the outside. He's going to hit the barrier, though. He tries it too hard, and Crispy wants to come through now. Doesn't though. Doesn't make it. Haflidasen's got big damage to the right-hand side of the car. I'm not sure if it's going to behave itself or even drive straight. We'll go on board with him and have a look at what this is going to be like. See what the steering's like when he gets into this part of the circuit. As Karekis pushes a bit harder, Haflidasen's car a little bit out of shape, but I don't think the steering is uneven. I think he's alright. Oh, sounds like he clips the barrier again. He can get away with it just that little bit. Look at how much speed they're carrying around this circuit as well, to just clip the barriers and just scrape along them without affecting the car too much. It's great, isn't it? Oh, someone's having a moment. That's Pete Newman. Pete Newman is off, just ahead of the leaders here. He's going to pull over out of the way, and they all go through safely. Good awareness that by Pete to make sure that he didn't hold them up. Let's just see what he did. Just going to clip the curb on the inside, I think. Yep. Just a little bit too hot into there. Oh, and he saves it one way then the other and just catches the wall. It sounded a lot more dramatic than it was, to be fair to Pete. I don't think the sim did him justice there. Did him a disservice, as now Akram Zinune has taken the lead in the AM class. Majek Sakovic now in second place. Doesn't have to worry about Akram in terms of the championship, as he's only joined this late on. As he's trying to mug Jesper Eriksson now. Look at that, what a move that is. He backs out of it though, knowing that into the fountain might be a little bit risky. Majek only needs to worry about James Neve in terms of the AM championship, and James is 15.5 seconds back on him at the moment. Currently 5th place in class. James not having as good an evening as he would have wanted so far. As, oh no, I think there's just been a bit of drama there between Akram Zinune and Jesper Eriksson. Jesper's car actually has some pretty bad damage on the front right. Look at that front right wheel. Oh yeah, Jesper's got some big damage, man. Look at this. The car isn't quite sat straight either. That front right wheel is definitely not right, is it? Look. So Jesper is nursing a damaged car. I was going to say, he really did drop off the pace earlier on. He's not quite been with the leaders, has he? He's not got it as tricked out as he'd like it. Is that Pete Newman around again? It is. Pete Newman having a torrid evening so far. He's now got to wait for more traffic to go through. Andy Shield and Ian Manners swapping positions as Andy goes down the inside. Fastest lap of the race by Matthew Crisp, with 2 3/4 minutes left on the clock. Into turn 1 they go once more. Big bounce and a wiggle there from Matthew Crisp. What was it I called it last week? That plastic thing that you get in the Cub Scouts to hold on your neckerchief, a woggle as they call it. Got none of them this week. As, oh, that's a big hit into the barrier there for Haflidasen. Hits the left rear pretty hard against the wall. Surely Crispy's going to be seeing all of these bits of contact with the barrier, and he's thinking, just let me through. Just let me through, Michael. Please let me have a go at this race lead. I can just go after him. You've got a battered car, stop it. And he's saying, no, I don't want to. They're having a fight now. And oh, Crispy's in the wall. Haflidasen's in the wall as well with the left-hand side of the car. There was no need for either of them to do that. They could have sat with Karekis easily for the rest of this race, but all they've done is just throw that away. Look at it now. It's a 1.5 second gap. The slipstream's not going to affect them that much from there, and Karekis has got such great pace out front that I don't think he needs to worry. He's going to have one more lap to go then as he comes out the final corner. Oh, Pete Newman's had another drama, and Pete Newman is retired from the race, understandably. Pete not having a good time of it here at Long Beach so far. Hopefully he'll be back for the second and third races of the evening. Don't forget, we do have 2 more races coming up tonight. We have the reverse grid spinny wheel as well, which we will show you. There's anywhere on this list, or anywhere in the field, from 10th position all the way up to 24th can get reversed, and that would be the complete field, because there's only 18 cars, so most of them will be a full reverse grid. Not all drivers are eligible though. I think it's basically drivers that have completed the race or been on the lead lap or a few laps down or something. There's a bunch of championships that run different rules for that. But Christoph Karekis, what a great job. Alcantech powered by Ferrari. You are absolutely right. Self-imploded there, haven't they? Absolutely self-imploded, and Christoph Karekis is going to be loving it. He's had a great run so far. Akram Zanoune is having a great run as well. He leads in the AM class. Sounded like Matthew Crisp had even more drama with the wall just a moment ago. The Wheel of Kenyon, as it's now. Yes, Ben. Yes, Ben. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Thank you, everyone that's tuned in so far and said hello. Thank you to all of you that are involved in the YouTube chat and over on Twitch, on Facebook as well. And I'm sure you'll get a thanks from Christoph Karekis, who is just about to take another race victory here at Long Beach. Very well done indeed to the Hungarian. Wins over Michael Haflidason and Matthew Crisp. And there's been a bit of drama for Jesper Eriksson and Maciej Sakovic further back. Akram Zanoune on his debut takes a win in the AM class. And look at this. Sakovic and Eriksson side by side to the line. And it's going to be Sakovic who takes it. Fantastic stuff. Great entertainment from those guys. But Christoph Karekis, well, he's going to be a happy boy after that one, because that is a hard-earned victory. That is a very, very hard-earned victory. And Akram Zanoune, well, what a fantastic debut he's had there. What a fantastic debut indeed. Sakovic gets second in the AM class, and third place is going to go the way of Matty Wild, who finishes in 7th place outright. He didn't have that much of a busy race, to be fair, but still, he survived it, and he got through with some solid points for his troubles. Okay, so before we go to the race results, let's just have a quick look then, shall we, at the reverse grid spinny wheel. Let's go over to that and see who is going to be on pole position for the second race of the night here at Long Beach. It's looking like number 22, which is going to be a full reverse grid. So we will let the admins know of that. Then we can come back to some race results. So Christoph Karekis takes the first win of the night ahead of Michael Haflidason and his AM Racing team teammate Matthew Crisp. Akram Zanoune, fantastic drive from him, qualified 5th, finished 4th and won the AM class. Maciej Sakovic finishes his 2nd, that's important for his AM Championship hopes, with Jesper Eriksson in 6th place, dropping down just behind them, but of course nursing a very, very damaged car towards the end. Matty Wild finishes 7th, Andy Shield recovers to 8th after his early spin, Ian Manners and James Neve complete the top 10. Michael Avdoka finishes 11th ahead of Martin Kenyon, with Rob Padgham the last car on the lead lap. Haflidy Johansson finishes 14th ahead of Pete Newman, with Marcus Adams in 16th position. And then behind them we have Alex Davidson and Jean-Baptiste Mesida, who did not take the start of the race. So that's the first race of the night done with here on Chaz Draycott Media in the World GR86 series. It will not be too long before we get the next race of the night underway, everybody. But do not go anywhere. We will be right back with you after this ad break, and we'll have some more racing action coming right in a few minutes' time. See you in a few. Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. They're 3 wide again. Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across. They're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
But before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy. You know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been moved kind of straight to show out.
I love this. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Okay, just a few minutes, everybody, and we will get into the second race session of the evening here on Chance Draycott Media for the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series. Hope you enjoyed that first race. I'll be back with you in just a few minutes' time, and we'll get the second one, round 17, underway. Enjoy the drop. See you in a few.
want you to stay. I 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 want you to stay.
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here on Chaz Draycott Media for the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series. We're back from round 17 here at Long Beach. What a busy first race we had. Not the biggest grid here tonight, unfortunately, compared to how it was earlier in the season, but they have still developed and shown us, and displayed, I should say, that's the word I was after, that we can have some great racing even with these smaller fields. It was a great win for Christoph Karekis ahead of Michael Hafliderson and Matthew Crisp, but one of the real talking points this evening is the newcomer to the championship, which is Akram Zinoune, the Moroccan driver, doing a great job in that first race of the night, taking pole position in the AM class and then taking the win as well. He says he's lacking top speed, so he had to try risky send during the race on Maciej Sakovic, but he's looking forward to the next race. Who knows, we may speak to him a little bit later on. Maciej was very complimentary of his driving and said well done on P1 in the AM class. And P1 overall went to this man, Christoph Karekis, so we're really happy with that one. It's a very competitive field in this championship. And at the front of the pack, it is very lively indeed. You can't get away with much, if anything. Just looking up and down the time and see if there's many people completing laps, but there's not really much in terms of laps being completed right now. There might be the odd few, but we've only got about 20 seconds left of the session before we get into the second race of the night. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves over on YouTube, over on Twitch, and on Facebook as well. Please do say hello. Let me know wherever you may be in the world right now and what you reckon ahead of this next race of the night, because we've had a full reverse grid here. Alex Davidson not in this session. Whoopsie daisy, Martin. He's going to now park in the flower bed. It's nice for the sponsors, isn't it, Martin? That was a very comical moment. Apologies if you heard my massive burp during the break, by the way, because somehow I'd leant on my stream deck slightly and unmuted my microphone, so apologies. Only human though, aren't I? Anyway, this is your grid. Pete Newman on pole position. He had a torrid first race, so he'll be happy about that at least. Haflider Johansson alongside him on the front row. Then it's Rob Padgham and Martin Kenyon. Michael Evdoka starting 5th with James Neve in 6th. Ian Manners is 7th alongside Andy Shield. Watch out for James Neve, by the way. Easily a candidate for an AM class win. Matty Wilde and Jesper Eriksson round out your top 10. Maciej Sakovic and Akram Zinoune make up row 6. And then we have Matthew Crisp starting 13th ahead of Michael Hafliderson. And then Christoph Karekis at the back of the pack, of course, as the race 1 winner. He's being known, I think it's Dadfley. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, because I thought it was Hafley. Anyway, we're about to get going. Round 17 of the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series from Long Beach is underway, and I think somebody jumped the start a little bit further back, to be fair. I didn't quite catch who it was. I was looking at the timing screen. Great start by James Neve. James has gained a place already on Martin Kenyon. Martin's lost 2 places already, actually. Michael Avdoka's got a belter as well. He's surely going to be the man to try and beat here in this race as he goes down the inside of Johansson into turn 1. Look at Karekis in the background. He's down the inside of everybody. He's down the inside of Matthew Crisp and Matty Wilde as well. You've got Zanune around the outside there as well. Afliderson and Shield at the back of this. As it all sorts itself out in the mid-pack-ish, does it? Sakovic there down the inside of Ian Manners. Ian is minding his manners. One of the only teams out there tonight with 2 cars on the grid, actually, 52 Racing. Well, it's Pete Newman and Michael Avdoka that lead this race. I think there's been a slowdown penalty for somebody a bit further back. Potentially Rob Padgham might have just cut over the curb a little bit too much. But Pure Sims SimLab leads. Pure Sims Esports, James Neve is top of the AMS as well at the moment. That's exactly what he needs. He needs to get away from Maciej Sakovic because he needs to claw those points back that he lost in the championship earlier, and I think that was Sakovic. Sakovic involved in something there at least. Or was Matty Wilde involved in that? I think Sakovic got away with it, but as they come roaring past, growling their way down the back straight here at Long Beach Seaside Way, Sakovic using every inch of the road there. He's ahead of Akram Zanune again. The two of them are battling for the lead in the AM class in the first race, and it's hairpin time, says Danny Solo. Here it is, look at that. Should try and sponsor it. This is our butt kicker hairpin camera. That's what they do in America, isn't it? Every grass blade has got a sponsor. Every piece of chain link on the fence has got its own sponsor. Oh, dearie me, Pete. I thought he went in a bit hot there. I held my breath for him, hoping that he'd just avoid it. Avdoka goes through, takes the overall race lead as there's drama behind. Hafley's into the barrier. And Johansson is over to one side. Andy Shields had a big drama. I think it was Andy that jumped the start earlier, you know. I think that's why he's coming to the pits, actually. Look at all this. Rob Padgham here ahead of Matthew Crisp. That's contact with the wall in front. That's Martin Kenyon. They go one way, then the other. Crispy tries to go through on the right-hand side. As Matthew Crisp takes a look down the inside. Oh, dearie me. Padgham's bounced off the wall. The King Taco tyre wall on the outside there. Now we go through the Acura Bend. I hate it. Sorry. Right, Avdoka leads this race though. Mounting the... Wow, look at all the sponsors there. The Bubba Firestone Mothers Acura curb. Oh, there's even Tamiya in the background there. Someone get your paint set out. Make some model kits while we're watching. Anyway, there's a big scrap going on here, actually, between James Neve and Jesper Eriksson. James is leading the AM class right now, so he doesn't need all this bother. He doesn't need to get hounded by anybody. Fastest lap of the race goes to Eriksson, who's certainly on the move. But Neve isn't letting this one go right now. I think he might do by the time we get down to turn 1. It'd be in his best interests, I reckon, because he's got 3 pros between himself and the cars behind. Yes, he does. He lets Eriksson go. Stay on board for a minute and just see how lively a lap is around here, though, when you're trying to chase the car behind. He's got 2.8 seconds over Matthew Crisp, and he is bringing with him Christoph Karekis and Michael Hafliderson. You can see the 3 of them just in the background there, making their way through the streets of Long Beach. And look at Eriksson's pace. He is off, isn't he? Off like a rocket right now. You can see a little bit of hesitant behaviour there from Neve as he waits to turn in. Looks like there's been a bit of movement going on in the middle of the field here. Sakovic and Kenyon side by side. These two having a scrap just in front of them. Zanune trying to go past Rob Padgham. Someone's hit the wall just in front of them. Oh, Maciej just clips the end of that tyre barrier as well. I think Kenyon got held up in that, so now Ian Manners, he's going to try and go through on the right-hand side. And then behind that, Matty Wilde wants to go through as well, and Martin, unfortunately, getting freight train there. Martin is one of 22 drivers that have signed up for Season 2 of the Chaz Draycott Media Formula 1 World Championship, which returns to your screens tomorrow. Amazingly, we have pre-season testing tomorrow night, so we're going to find out who's going to drive for what team. They have 3 sessions. They have to set lap times on their own in lone qualifying over half an hour and see who gets what car for the championship. Karekis has now moved ahead of Matthew Crisp. He's gained 10 places in this race. He's just clipped the outside wall, though. Yeah, absolutely, Ben. Yeah, Chaz's rant about over-sponsorship was brought to you by Sunoco Fuel. Absolutely. And instead of saying instant replay or having a look at a replay, we need to say it as Americans do and say instant replay. It's like when people emphasise the wrong part of Subaru when they say Subaru. Oh, I've just got shivers. Anyway, Michael Hafliderson rounds the Kentucky Fried Chicken curve and heads down towards Tamiya Turn. And he's just going to keep Crisp and Karekis ahead of him in his sights. They're now chasing down James Neve, who is the AM class leader. We're 6 minutes through this race already. As you look up there on the top left of our NVIDIA countdown timer. Yeah, I'm going to stop now, it's just cringing. But look at that through here. Look at how the different lines that the drivers can take really concertina up, and that's concertinaed up quite a lot. Matthew Crisp, I think, got into the back of Karekis there, and then Hafliderson got into the back of him. All-out teammate warfare here at AM Racing. Something, 15 minutes to go. Absolutely, Danny. Absolutely. Hope you're enjoying the show, my friend. Andy Shield is apparently... Yes, there he was. Rob Patcham has now got Maciek Sakovic and then Ian Manners, his teammate, behind. All these guys keeping each other company. Sakovic goes down the inside, and one of the AM Championship protagonists certainly fighting hard here. He's made to work for this by Rob Patcham. Just behind them they've got Matty Wilde as well. He wants a piece of this as they go around the fountain. Or Rob having to trail break a bit there. Matty then goes down the inside of Ian Manners, thinks better of it. Really compromises himself, though he didn't need to do that. 15 minutes could save you 15% more on your car insurance. Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever been watching a motor race and think this takes a long time? Well, it doesn't take as long as getting a new quote on your car insurance. Oh no! Oh, Pete Newman. Pete Newman in the barrier hard, and Matthew Crisp's involved in it as well. Crispy, one of the championship protagonists, is involved in Pete Newman's accident. I think Pete did it on his own. Oh, he's already had one. Oh, he's already broken something. Oh, Crispy gets battered. Hafliderson gets a big hit as well, and Akram Zinune is involved in that. What on earth happened to Pete Newman? Oh, you can hear it. So he's already lost it and then got going again. He's having a terrible night, is Pete. Goes into the right-hander and it's already broken. It's like something on the left rear is gone and then bounces off, and wow. So Crispy now. Big damage. Oh yeah, the Go Compare thing. I'd probably try and sing it, but it'd be too loud into this microphone. I used to do a really good impression of that bloke, actually. Michael Evdoka, anyway, leads this race right now. Jesper Eriksson trying to chase him down was 0.4 of a second quicker than him on that previous lap. Rob Padgham's just had a problem. Gets going again without drama. But Jesper Eriksson is the man on the mission right now for Force Esports, and he's going to force his way forward. Try and squeeze more and more performance out of this car into the latter stages of the race. Love this down here as you go under all the buildings in the hotel down Seaside Way into the final couple of corners on the circuit. Firestone turn, Indy left, and then the final hairpin. Look at this, look at the amount of curb you're allowed to take around there. Anything goes really, as long as you can open up that hairpin and get a good run. Let's have a look at what the lap times are like. You'll see them slide out next to the drivers' names on the left hand side of your screen there on the timing tower. So keep your eye out next to Michael Evdoka's name and you'll see the time in just a couple of seconds. A 1:33.3, a 1:32.9 for Eriksson, so another 0.4 of a second gain there for Jesper. He continues to crack on here. Jesper is really on a mission. It's close between Zinune and Hafliderson. Zinune is trying to chase down James Neve here, the AM class leader right now. Car number 7. waiting to see, well, coming into this round, the championship points between Neve and Sakovic were only 18, to be fair. There wasn't much in it at all. I think in that first race they may have been separated by that. And right now Zanune is looking very racy. He's been so potent throughout this first race meeting that we've seen him in. Very exciting driver to have on the grid. No major dramas or anything, you know. He's not sort of got, well, I was going to say he's not got in anyone's way, but he's just nearly been rear-ended there by Michael Hafliderson, who's chasing him down. Michael obviously getting a bit of damage from that earlier incident, which is a real shame to see. You can see now Zanune trying to get into the slipstream of James Neve. Moves into the middle of the road, then gradually back over to the left again. Backs out a little bit early, and it's, whoa, hello, that was a big slide by Akram then. Just about manages to hold on to it. He's really pushing this car, isn't he? Throwing everything at this. You can hear them scraping the barrier. Sakovic isn't far off either. He's got Ian Manners and then Matty Wilde behind him. Matty Wilde only 1.5 seconds back off these two. And if we look at the lap times again for the leaders, Jesper Eriksson was 2/10 quicker than Michael Evdoka on that previous lap. It was a 1:32.62 against a 1:32.89, and Zanune's got past Neve. He's already done him. Wow. What's happened here? Oh, he just got a great run out of the right-hander, didn't he? Moved over to the left. Said, thank you very much indeed. I'm going to brake later than you. James Neve, lovely, respectful racing. James has been so great all season with that. Just affords enough room down the inside for Zanune. This is the worst case scenario though, because now Flyderson's going to go through. And that means there's a car between him and Zanune if he wants to try and come back at him. So he's lost that lead, and Sakovic is the next car back in the AM class as well. It's oh so close in that championship between those two drivers. They've both had completely differing fortunes in terms of reverse grids and who's qualified quicker and who's had the luck with the incidents. Michael Evdoka's just done his best lap of the race, a 1:32.89, but he's going to hate the fact that Jesper Eriksson was still 2 and a bit tenths quicker. Jesper is reeling him in here with 7 minutes to go. And it is lovely to see this sort of performance from Jesper. We know how fast this guy is, but he's just had so much bad luck throughout the season so far. This is the 17th race of the championship. We've got plenty of them left to go as well. We are nowhere near done yet in this season. Anything can change for these drivers in the blink of an eye, especially with 3 races over the course of a night. There's plenty to think about. You have to play the game as well. Evdoka leads Eriksson, leads Karekis at the moment. Christoph Karekis having a lonely race in third. He's got 4 seconds ahead to Jesper Eriksson. And he's got 8 seconds back to Akram Zanune, who is now under pressure once again from Michael Hafliderson. The AM racing car looking a little bit sluggish out of the right-hander, wondering whether that damage is hurting him too much. He's just trying to keep it alive, isn't he? And he's really pushing, actually, is Michael. He's doing a good job of that. Oh, he follows so closely there onto the back of Akram, and you can see even just between the two of them, 2 very different lines. We now wait for the timer to carry on ticking down. I think Evdoka's going to be hoping that it ticks down even quicker because he's done another personal best. And Jesper Eriksson was again quicker with a 32.6. Only 1/10 quicker that time round though, so Evdoka started to match him a little bit more. That was Matthew Crisp between the two of them there. That is not for position. 15 minutes gone here in this race. Oh, that was a much bigger hit for Jesper against the wall. We've seen him do that in the earlier race as well with the right-hand side of the car. Hopefully he doesn't do that too many times and it ruins his pace for the later stages, because we would love to see this chase go right to the end. I'm sure you'll all agree. Great to see if Jesper can catch up to him and try and have a go. Looks like the car wasn't behaving itself there in the hairpin though. Let's see what Evdoka does lap time wise now. His best lap's a 32.77 at the minute. Cross line he goes. The time is a 33.0. Jesper Eriksson does a 33.1. So with that mistake, Jesper's lost a little bit of ground there. He won't be too happy about that. Christoph Karekis has gained a lot of time on them as well. He was 6/10 quicker on that previous tour. Christoph's been fantastic, hasn't he? In this middle part of the season, he's really come alive. Zanune and Flyderson still glued together. These are the two closest cars on track. Akram's just done his fastest lap of the race, actually. He's on good form right now. Look how much he was cutting the curb there. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a slowdown for stuff like that, because it's a hell of a lot of curb to take throughout the right-hander. In the background there you can see James Neve. Oh dear, that was close, Akram. James Neve here just ahead of Maciej Sakovic. Now these are the two that came into this round fighting for the AM Championship lead. Rob Padgham's just had a spin, but gets going again. But Sakovic, well, he's not far off the back of James Neve right now. Only 1.3 seconds. On the last lap, Maciej did a 1:33.5 and James Neve did his personal best, which was a 33.9. So at the moment, Maciej is the one with the pace out of these two. With no disrespect meant to James, it has been Maciej with the pace out of the two of them for the majority of the season. But James has just been so good at managing these reverse grid races and getting points out of them, choosing when to fight and when not to. Look at that by Karekis, 32.5. He was 0.8 of a second quicker than Jesper Eriksson in front of him. It's now 2.4 seconds between that pair. And Jesper's slow. Jesper's 3/10 slower than Michael Evdoka on that last lap. Jesper's definitely damaged that car, you know. He's hurt it. He's hurt it with kissing the wall. He's been pushing a little bit too hard, hasn't he? And he's injured the car. It's a real shame because he was on such a roll. But it's Evdoka, Eriksson, Karekis, Zinune leading the AM class, so Flyderson in 5th, then Neve, Sakovic, Manners, and then Wild and Kenyon round out your top 10 cars. Unfortunately, Newman and Shield out of this race. What a fantastic debut meeting this has been though for Akram Zinune. He's on some solid form right now. And if we've got him for the rest of the season, he's definitely going to hope that this can continue. Sakovic is really close to the back of James Neve now. And this is important because Sakovic scored more points than him earlier on. Sakovic now into the slipstream. You can see though the slipstream is not massively effective down there, is it? It's not huge. Looking at the timing, you know, Karekis is still absolutely smacking into the wall. I was going to say he's absolutely flying up to the back of the cars in front of him at the moment. He's on a real mission. And right now, Jesper Eriksson is under attack, I should say, into the final moments. But Michael Evdoka, well, he really needed this, didn't he? Rounds the final corner, and he is going to take a race victory at Long Beach. Very well done, and Eriksson's just going to hold on to second place. Karekis gets another podium. Great result for him. Akram Zinune takes his second AM win of the night, and Maciej Sakovic got ahead of James Neve on the last lap. Maciej Sakovic made it work. He finally got there. It wasn't for lack of trying though, was it? Wow. James Neve finishes third in the AM class. But Karekis with that all-important podium really helps his championship charge. Almost the same podium again, actually, there in the AM classes. Oh, okay. But Neve rounding out the top 3 in that AM class at least scores big points. That's so important for him at this point in the championship. Here's Martin Kenyon coming around the final corner. And Evdoka pulled over to one side, and I thought it was going to be so that Crispy didn't have to do another lap, but he actually does, doesn't he? Here's Haflidi Johansson. Or Haflidi Johansson. Apologies if I'm getting your names wrong, boys. I know that I've spoken to Michael before about it, and apparently there's a very specific way to say it, and it's not one that rolls off the tongue easily. There's Matthew Crisp across the line, and he's going to be the last car to cross said line. And that's going to mean that we now need to go over to the reverse grid wheel to pick out who is going to be next on pole position for the final race of the night here on Chaz Draycott Media in the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series. And it's going to be a big one. We nearly got 12, which would have been part of the field, but it is going to be 24. So the whole field once again gets reversed. So Andy Shiel and Pete Newman on the front row. Rob Padgham and Matthew Crisp will be on row 2. That's going to be a very exciting one. I think you'll all agree. There's plenty to look forward to right there. There's your race result then. Michael Evdoka takes the race win ahead of Jesper Eriksson. Christoph Karekis gets another podium and some great championship points. Akram Zinune was next up, winning in the AM class. He'll be over the moon with that. Behind him was Michael Hafliderson. Next up, we had Maciej Sakovic, second place in the AM class ahead of James Neve. That's important for the championship. Ian Manners was 8th ahead of Matty Wild and Martin Kenyon, who rounded out your top 10. Next up was Haflidi Johansson. Matthew Crisp was the last car on the lead lap, although it does say he was one lap down. And then Rob Padgham, Pete Newman and Andy Shiel were not effectively classified. So once again, everybody, we're just going to take a quick break here on Chaz Draycott Media. We'll just be away for a few minutes while we get into the last session of the night. Hope you're enjoying yourselves so far, though, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, everybody. Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. They're 3 wide again. Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across. They're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
Before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy. You know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, you can look and a drift is going off. Ben Gregory now, I love this. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away?
You to stay.
Just a couple more minutes, everybody, and we will be back into the session for the final race of the night here, round 18 of the World Sim Racing World GR86 series with me, Chaz Draycott, and the series sponsored by Butt Kicker. Just give us a few more minutes, everybody, and we'll be back in. But for now, enjoy the tunes, sit back, relax, and I'll see you in a minute.
forget all the wrongs and every reason why we've changed. And there's a storm inside my head, it's getting me in trouble, baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low, take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low, take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy.
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here on Chaz Draycott Media for the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series. We're here for the final race of the night at Long Beach, round 18 of the championship, just about to get underway. We've had some really good races so far, and I repeat myself again in saying that you don't always need a big grid to have good races, and this championship is proving that now. Unfortunately, the numbers have dwindled a little bit since the start of the campaign, but still, we have great racing going on and some wonderful people out there on said grid. As Ian Manners currently finds himself third in this warm-up session at the moment, which is just actually coming to an end right now. And there's all manner of drivers out there on circuit just getting used to the conditions, the change of conditions since last time. I wonder if this... Yes, it does work. 38-degree track temperature. It's 21 degrees in the air, but it's mighty hot here at Long Beach. 50% humidity as well. And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the sim, so you can see that it's going to get rather toasty for these drivers in these latter stages of the race. Oh, sorry, latter stages of the meeting, I should say. Anyway, there we go. Everybody now out of the way and all sorted and ready to go. Let's have a look at the final grid of the night, shall we? Rob Padgham's going to be on pole position alongside Matthew Crisp. Watch out for him as a potential winner here. Haflida Johansson and Martin Kenyon on row 2. Then it's Matty Wilde and Ian Manners. James Neve is next up ahead of Magic Sakovic, Michael Hafladison and Akram Zinune on row 5. They were calling for Akram to be made a pro after that race. I don't disagree. Christoph Karekis and Jesper Eriksson are on row 6 ahead of Michael Evdoka, Andy Scheel and Pete Newman will apparently start at the back of the grid for this one, despite being right down there at the end of the last one. I think it's because he didn't finish the race potentially, although Andy Scheel didn't either. So then, one more race left to go tonight, the 18th round of the championship. Who is your money on? Let us know in the chat. See you over there in YouTube chat and Twitch as well, and Facebook. The revs are going to rise, the lights are going to come on, and round 18 of the WSR World GR86 Series from Long Beach gets underway, and Matthew Crisp on the left-hand side of your shot gets a lovely launch off the line. Great launch also for Ian Manners. He goes between Matty Wilde and Martin Kenyon. He's going to make his way gradually over to the left. Watch out for James Neve in the middle there in the black and orange machine. The work guard right by result machine. There's a car blinking in and out. That's Matty Wilde. What's everybody going to do down the inside? Everyone keeping it nice and tidy. It's so easy to overdo it. There's a bit of contact between Wilde and Hafladison there. Do they make it all through safely? Oh, Karekis turns in on Zinune. And he's still next to him, actually. Evdoka's in there as well. Karekis gets a hit from Zinune. Well, Karekis twice there, I think, turning across the car in front of him. We go on board here with Michael Evdoka, who's right in the thick of it. You can see everybody around him. It's a very busy environment early on in Long Beach, but Matthew Crisp, well, it's not a busy environment where he is, much like we saw in the earlier race with Michael Evdoka. He's got the lead early on and he's disappeared. Padgham and Manners second and third for 52 Racing. Should call themselves 23 Racing with how this is currently going, as they make their way now down the back straight. The whole field makes it through the opening lap. Haflida Johansson is next up with Martin Kenyon. No, the 52 Racing cars have nearly imploded. Rob Padgham makes a mistake. I think he did just about clip Ian Manners. As there goes Karekis through shot as well. And then Zinune. They're all trying to sort of calm it down as Wilde. Oh, boys, that was too messy. And oh, now Scheel's been hit by Wilde as well. I don't know what was going on there. So Padgham's on the inside, Zinune's on the outside, and they just get stuck together. Rob was just trying to get on the power and just ran wide in the end, and unfortunately more and more contact led to a rather large mess, to say the least. Hafladison's got Neve and Eriksson behind him, but it's Matthew Crisp. Ian Manners has gained 4 spots on that opening lap. He's having a great race already. Only 1 lap in, so you can't get out too far ahead of yourself, but still, he leads the AM class for the time being. Johansson second in that class, Martin Kenyon in third, and then behind them we've got more shenanigans as Jesper Eriksson sends it down the inside of James Neve. Christoph Karekis now wants a piece of this. He's going to try and go down the inside. as they go down Pine Avenue onto the brakes. Turns in, doesn't hit the wall. Nice. Lovely stuff by Karekis. Just ahead you can see a little bit of battling going on as well. As all side by side there, that's Hafliderson down the inside of Martin Kenyon. Oh, there's nearly contact on the exit as well as Martin tries to sort the car out. Nearly takes a swipe at the back of Michael's car. Christoph Karekis and Jesper Eriksson are making their way through the order. Obviously members of their families, enthusiasts of the letters E, K and S. Jesper Eriksson and Christoph Karekis. As that looked like Hafliderson slowing down there. And Kenyon goes back past him. Or no, it's not Hafliderson, sorry. It's Haflider Johansson. It's Hafli's dad that's actually slowed down. Apologies. And now Eriksson all over the back of Hafli. And look at this, Karekis looking down the inside of him now as well. It's so feisty. The two of them bouncing and wobbling all over the curbs. Matty Wilds had a nightmare. Matty Wilds had a spin down at the fountain. That car doesn't look straight anyway, to be fair. It's got a lot of damage on it. We've got Michael Hafliderson, he's clear, and then you've got this humongous train behind Martin Kenyon. No, James Neves! James Neves around! AM Championship protagonist Johansson's gained a place from somebody. Jesper Eriksson's just hit the wall, I think. Good God. No one wants to finish these races. James Neves just goes in a little bit too hot. I don't think he got contact, did he? No, he just overdid it on a little bump. And it's so easy to do. And it was a move down the inside by Eriksson on Johansson. And now they're continuing on playing hairpin time. Still Kenyon from Eriksson, then Karekis, then Sakovic in this group. Fastest lap of the race by Matthew Crisp. He's disappeared off up the road right now. Fastest lap of the race then by Michael Hafliderson as well, his teammate. He's now chasing down Ian Manners, flashing the lights. He says, "Thank you, Ian. I will go through down the inside." Pro driver goes through. Now those two 52 racing cars are not their full position. Rob Padgham's actually down in 14th place. So unfortunately, he's not there with his teammate for second in their class. There's Eriksson ahead of Kenyon now. Kenyon's going to try and hold on ahead of Christoph Karekis. As the battles rage behind Martin. Is Christoph going to send it up the inside? No, he's not yet. I think he's going to wait to get the slipstream, isn't he? As they go down Seaside Way. Or is he going to have a look here? No, he's not. He's just waiting. He's biding his time. Tucks it in nicely, although he has to compromise his run on the exit. Maciej Sakovic is sat just behind them. He's third in the AM class at the moment. Although despite having a compromised run, Karekis still gets ahead of Martin Kenyon as they go down Seaside Way, and there you go. He goes through, uses all the road this way and that. These fantastic looking little cars wobbling one way then the other. Rob Padgham, where on earth is Rob? Wow. Rob really went off. So this was just ahead. I thought I heard a car slow down. You could hear the revs drop. It just didn't slow down, did it? Oh, and he only just gets it stopped. Then has to reverse all the way out. Poor Rob. Not having a good race of it, is he? Matthew Crisp continues to lead, though. He's got 4.9 seconds over Michael Hafliderson just there. And then Ian Manners continues to lead the AM class. He's got a couple of places. He's got about 3.6 seconds between himself and Martin Kenyon, who's next in his class. 7 minutes gone, so over half the race left to go yet. So it's not all plain sailing, it's not all done and dusted. And he's got Jesper Eriksson closing in on him. Sounds like Karekis was really getting friendly with the walls there. Either that or it was Martin Kenyon, as he tries to hold on ahead of Maciej Sakovic for second in the AM class. And there you see Maciej going through. Martin's just trying not to, he's just not getting in anyone's way, is he? He's just cracking on his Martin. He wants to just finish the races and get championship points for his trouble. Here's Michael Evdoka going past Akram Zanune. Akram's putting up a great fight there around the outside. Lovely stuff. Evdoka doesn't want any of it. You can't really push him out of the way though, so he has to be patient here. You can see big damage to the right hand side of Evdoka's car. Well, Zanune doing a great old job, isn't he? What a great addition to the championship he has been. Fastest lap of the race by Christoph Karekis, a 1:32.4. 32.5 for Jesper Eriksson, 32.7 for Hafliderson, 32.8 for race leader Matthew Crisp. Is Evdoka late enough on the brakes to make that work? Don't think so. He's not able to make the cutback work either. Now this is for overall position, but also they're in two different classes here. Evdoka in the Pro class, Zanune in the AM class for this championship. Oh, he's cut that a lot there. I'm not sure if he'll get away with that or have a slowdown penalty, but here's your race leader, Crispy. He's doing everything right that he needs to do at the moment for AM Racing Team. I've seen Matthew race in many a different format, many a championship. Commentated on a few of them as well. He's always been good fun to watch, great guy to speak to as well. Look at the way that he's pushing this car. It really didn't want to play ball around there, did it? You could tell that it was a little bit upset at the prospect of being force-fed another corner. But he completes another lap. That's 6 in the book now. How's Christoph Karekis getting on? 5th at the minute. He's after a trio of podiums tonight. Zanune is after 3 wins in the AM class, but I don't think he's going to get them. Sakovic has been second in both races. But a slight mix of podium finishes so far tonight, but not a humongous one. As Karekis really trying to force the issue now on Ian Manners. There's, oh no, he's forced it too much, and Ian makes a mistake. Loses the back end. There's contact between the two of them. I don't think there's any major damage on either car, but it's the front left of Karekis' car and the front right of Ian Manners' machine. Ian's got a little bit wide there, and Christoph just puts his nose down the inside. I think Ian just goes a bit deep. Oh, he hits the curb on the inside. And I think, to be fair, they both got quite lucky there, if I'm honest with you. In the background there, Martin Kenyon has got Zanune behind him, and Akram is certainly pushing hard now to go chasing after his fellow AM drivers just up ahead. He's got to be careful here. He's quicker than Martin, but he just needs to be cautious of any early braking. You can see he carries a much wider line through there, tightens it up, and then really opens up the hairpin, the final corner. But all in all, you can see how it balances out with the run they get off the corner as well. He's got Michael Evdoka just behind him. Shows you just how quick Zanune is, because he's getting away from Michael Evdoka. Michael may have won that second race, but he's not setting the world alight here. He's not really been on the pace as much this evening. Let's not forget he got that race win earlier because he was reversed quite close to the front of the grid. Matthew Crisp has also taken advantage of the reverse grid, let's not forget. He finds himself up there. And we now need to go back to this though, because Zanune is closing in on Kenyon, but all this time Evdoka's actually sitting there waiting to take his own opportunities. Let's try and get past the pair of them. There's a bit of contact as Kenyon just clips the barrier. Needs to be careful, because while the circuit does naturally go over to the left, drivers aren't forced to. Still side by side. Oh, Zanune's hit the wall hard. He hits the wall very hard with the left rear. I'm not sure if that's going to have broken it. Matty Wilds just had a problem. Oh, he's had a big shunt there. Looks like the... Well, then again, I was going to say it looks like the left rear is broken, but it always looks like the rear is broken on these cars, because unfortunately those rear wheels clip through the floor. Evdoka, well, he's going to be happy. He's got past Kenyon and Zanune, while those two didn't swap places. They just lost one apiece. There's, oh no, Kenyon down the inside. clips Avdoka and then has to back up, and then Zanune hits him. Fastest lap of the race for Michael Hafliderson on that last lap. 32.39, very fast time indeed. He's going chasing his teammate Matthew Crisp as they go towards an AM Racing Team 1-2. And well, they'll be happy for some big championship points, won't they? Over their rivals, Pure Sims. I'm not sure what they can do in terms of closing in on them because of how consistent Pure Sims have been, how many wins and podiums and joint podiums they've had, 1-2 finishes and all sorts. They've had a real stellar season. Back to this, it's still going on. Zanune climbing around all over the back of Kenyon. No, I said before, didn't I, that the circuit naturally goes left and drivers aren't forced to do so, but I think Martin was the one that was straightening that up there. He's obviously got a meatball flag or something, but I think Martin tried to straighten it up. I don't know, it's hard to judge because the circuit's so wide there. You do naturally go over to the left. We saw it a lap ago. Watch this, we'll go back a lap ago. Look, this is when, oh, it's just before this, apologies. Just before that actually as well. So here you go. So look at where the circuit goes now. They're naturally going over to the left. Look at where Martin is over the yellow line. He goes diagonally across both of them. And then on this lap, see whereabouts they both end up. So watch for the double yellow lines. Yeah, they were heading over in that direction still, but I think maybe Zanune just tried to move over more. And Martin maybe wanted to straight line it a little bit. He didn't really stay in that much of a straight line though. And unfortunately, Martin Kenyon, recipient of that contact, is now out of the race. He's sat in the pit lane. That leaves Sakovic with a bit more breathing room up front in the AM class. And by up front I mean second place, because he's chasing Ian Manners, who continues to hold his lead. We're 15 minutes through this 20-minute race, the final race of the night here at Long Beach. Hope you've all enjoyed the show so far. Don't forget to please subscribe to Chaz Draycott Media. Unbelievably, after only hitting 1,000 subscribers in January, after doing YouTube for a couple of years now, I'm very close to 1,500 subscribers. So we're into the last sort of 100 or so. I'd really appreciate it if you did. Unfortunately, my YouTube schedules had to be dialed back a bit. It was 4 videos a week, but it's now going to go down to 2. So it's not even going to be as annoying if you subscribe now. You're not going to have as much to worry about. There will still be broadcasts and all sorts. There's championships coming up. CDM Formula 1 World Championship starts again this week, which I know a lot of people are excited for. And of course, we'll have the World GR86 series continuing on for a while yet. And it is wonderful to broadcast this championship here on Chaz Draycott Media. I love it. These cars are amazing. The drivers are great. Wonderful spirit in the paddock. And WSR World Sim Racing have always been good to me. I've worked with them since 2017. Very, very good friends of mine. And they've been wonderful to me. Andy Shield, series admin, may not be having a fantastic night on the circuit, but he's put a great series together here. And it's been awesome to work with him on it. Ian Manners is going to be a very happy bunny right now with having Maciej Sakovic behind him, but he's not going to be happy about the fact that Maciej is that close behind him. He'll want a bit more daylight between himself and Maciej. I promised Maciej that I will not go on about the one championship that I always remember him winning. I say mentioning it. But the Polish driver for Team Mad, he's a really smart lad, is Maciej. And he's one of the absolute stalwarts at Team Mad, a really close-knit team, those guys. A very good laugh as well, but really serious about their racing. This is serious racing as well, as Akram Zanune goes past James Neve. James has had a bit of a night to forget, unfortunately, in the AM Championship. He's going to lose yet more points to Maciej Sakovic in this one, and I think with this, Maciej will be leading the AM Championship Ben there saying that he's not sure about Formula 1. He heard that I'd let some amateurs join. It's all good fun, but to be honest, Ben, there's not many people who've driven the car that much, so everybody's an amateur, don't worry. So, Manners holds on. Crisp holds on for the time being anyway. It's 1.2 seconds back to Michael Hofleiderson. There's going to be one more lap after this. And Crispy is surely going to lead home. Touch wood when I say this. An AM Racing Team 1-2. We know these guys like to self-implode. In the background as well, you've got Jesper Eriksson and Christoph Karekis. These two are getting closer and closer together. Christoph did the fastest lap of the race last time round, actually, and was 4/10 quicker than Jesper. If he keeps that sort of pace up, he might actually be able to beat Jesper to the line here. We may actually need to go on board and see, because this gap has come down and down and down, even just over the last couple of corners. I'm wondering, has Jesper damaged his car again by running it too close to the wall and overdoing it? We saw that he did that in a couple of different moments earlier on. But Christoph Karekis, he wants 100% podiums tonight, and there he goes. Fastest lap of the race, 7/10 faster than Ericsson. He's making a statement here as Christoph Karekis. If he does this, I think he's going to be... No, Sakovic will finish on all 3 AM podiums, but Karekis will be the only driver to finish on all 3 overall podiums if he can get past Jesper Eriksson. He's right up behind him now. On the final lap of the race in round 18 of the championship. Look how close they are to the wall. He's actually scraping the barrier a little bit there. He really cuts that inside curb. Don't think it was too much though. He's got away with it. Danny Solo saying don't forget to mention Alcantech when they're winning, not imploding. Yep, no implosions at the moment, although Michael Hofleiderson very close to the back of Matthew Crisp. This is tempting fate, isn't it? As the two of them stick right together down Seaside, whatever the hell it's called, Seaside Way. Oh, Michael has to get out of the way slightly on the brakes there. What about these two? They're close together as well. Neither of them overdo it there. We'll have to wait and see what they do into the hairpin. But Matthew Crisp is going to come round the final corner, and by the look of it, he's going to take the win. There's contact between these two, and it looks like they've sorted it out. But at the front for a 1-2 finish, it's going to be the AM Racing Team. Matthew Crisp and Michael Hofleiderson do it. Great job. Jesper Eriksson finishes third ahead of Christoph Karekis. And around the final corner to take the win in the AM class, it's going to be Ian Manners for 52 Racing. Great job by Ian. He beats Maciej Sakovic to the line, who has a great night for his championship ahead of Michael Evdoka. And then Pete Newman is going to be the next car across the line. And on his debut in the championship, I may be saying his name wrong all night, but Hafley's dad, let's call him that, Johansson's going to get a third place finish and an AM podium. Very well done indeed. It's going to be Crisp, Hofleiderson, and then Eriksson for the top 3 spots outright though. And what a great race those guys had. Really, really good race. They can be over the moon with that one. Jesper Eriksson as well. Boy, he had to work for that. He did himself over a few times tonight, admittedly, because of the damage that he caused to the car by just running that little bit too close to the wall. It's so easy to do around here. We're just waiting for the last couple of cars to cross the line now, and then we'll grab you some race results. Alken win, hashtag Alken win, says Nicholas Rasmussen. Yes, indeed, mate. Alken win indeed. Very well done. And they're going to do a little formation flight down the start-finish straight here by the look of it. Nice to see, isn't it? Oh, maybe. For God's sake. They always have a good laugh to these lot. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. Right, let's have a look at some race results then, shall we? Matthew Crisp takes the win from Michael Hafliderson, with Jesper Eriksson finishing in third, just ahead of Christoph Karekis, who did a fantastic job all night. Ian Manners takes the win in the AM class ahead of Maciej Sakovic. Michael Avdoka finishes in seventh, and I tell you what, he would be much happier a little bit further up the order tonight, wouldn't he? Same with Pete Newman. He had a torrid evening, really, so a top 10 in the last race is quite a good result. Haflider Johansson finishes ninth ahead of James Neve. Then we have Akram Zinune. What a great debut it's been from Akram as well. Great to see that. Matty Wild as well was the last car on the lead lap. Rob Padgham was 1 lap down, Martin Kenyon was 4 laps down, and Andy Shield was not classified. So, what I need to do is to hop down into the interview waiting room, and what we'll do is we'll try and grab some of our drivers for a quick chat. Now, we've actually got the Three Stooges waiting for us here, the guys that were just causing all the trouble at the end of the race there, but we're going to start with our final race winner of the evening, Matthew Crisp. Matty, you must be over the moon with that, mate, because you've had a lot of ups and downs this season and very busy races throughout. I mean, these race meetings are savage, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bit of a consolation after the second race. So, I'm particularly over the moon about that race win, to be honest with you, mainly because how that second race ended. I know Pete wouldn't have meant it, and but yeah, it's just one of those things. But I don't know, my season's been it's been pretty good, to be honest. Pretty solid points, but nothing spectacular. I've always been up the front. I've always been scoring consistent points, but when you got people that are averaging over 200 points per round, it's incredibly hard to keep with them.
Yeah, absolutely is. And what was it like at Long Beach tonight in terms of just your own driving? Did you feel like you were confident in the car around here? Because it's one of them circuits where you have to push, but it's so scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really fun. Probably the best track we've had so far this season. And yeah, working with Hafley and Jesper, we've been pushing each other on, so we've been helping each other. So yeah, it's been really, really positive for all three of us, I think.
Absolutely. And what are your thoughts going forward in the championship now? Are you excited for the rest of it this season? Because it's going to be, it's going to be a busy time all the same, because weekly stuff and 3 races a week, it's a flat-out schedule, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really tough. I think we've got Sandown next, which is a track that I've never even driven it. I don't even know. I can tell you if the first corner's a left-hander or a right-hander, so that's completely starting from scratch. So for me, yeah, but the main aim for me now is to get that P3 in the championship. I think the top 2 are possibly a little bit out of reach, but you never know. I mean, I'm not sure what happened to Alex. I don't know if he had internet troubles or something, but yeah, he wasn't able to compete tonight, and Michael didn't have the best of nights, so you never know. But I think realistic aim for me is definitely top 3.
Well, that's the thing, mate. You've got to have these goals set so you know exactly where you want to be come the end of the season. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to, buddy, after tonight?
Yeah, Hafley and Jesper. Yeah, as I said, we've been working together really, really well all season. So, well, from the start we were rivals, but now we've sort of come together as we realise if we want to take on those Pure Sims boys, we should probably work together. Yeah, and then Kevin and Alex and Nick and everyone at Alcantech who tune in every week and support me. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Well, thanks very much, Matt. Great to speak to you, mate, and well done on that final race win.
Cheers.
And what we'll do now is move on to the man that finished second in that race. Michael, welcome to the booth, my friend. Having your dad out there on track must have been pretty cool tonight. Let's talk about that first. How do you think he's got on?
Well, I mean, he was P3, I think, after lap 1 in race 2, before he accidentally hit the wall. But yeah, it's super fun seeing him out on track, and like we talked about last week with my NASCAR series, he's driving that one as well. So
yeah,
it's super fun, like racing with him, and I think it's fun, you know, to have something with your dad. Even though we mostly yell at each other, but we still work together and have fun.
Well, that's it. It's all about having fun. He actually got an AM-class podium as well in that last race as well, so he's done a solid job. Your night was very busy as well. I think that's definitely the word of the moment around Long Beach, because you don't get a moment's rest here, do you?
No, you don't. But I think I have to say, like Crispy, I really enjoyed this car track combo. Like, probably the best one we've had so far, and probably the best one we're gonna have on the schedule. But I mean, yeah, it was chaos, to say the least. Race 1 was fairly clean, except for me getting kind of pushed into the wall and turned into, but other than that it was fine. And race 2, I was kind of in the incident with Crispy and just unlucky there, but I at least managed to continue. And then race 3, I got through cleanly, and then it was just staying behind Crispy.
And as Matt mentioned, we do go to Sandown next time out. Now, there's not so many walls there, so is it going to be a little bit more comfortable, if not so as enjoyable?
At least I can tell you it's a left-hand corner, the first one, because I have the run there with this car. So I'm one step ahead of Matt, which is good.
Absolutely.
Which I need it. No, but I look forward for it. It's a fun track. It's kinda technical in the few corners there is. So it's gonna be fun to see.
I absolutely agree, mate. It should be a belter. Is there anyone you'd like to give a thanks to before you go?
Yeah, well, obviously, like Crispy said, Crispy and Jesper for working so well. And then, like I said, we are pushing each other and we're having fun while we're doing it. And of course, AMRT for supporting me with an amazing rig. My dad, who's now racing with us, and of course the Alcantech guys who tune in and have fun, even though they're just watching it.
Oh, why they do have a good laugh in the chat. Well, thanks very much, Michael. It's always a pleasure to speak to you, mate. And I will see you soon.
Thank you.
And then we've got the final troublemaker, the second Swede on the podium as well in that race, who dealt a very, I must say actually, Jesper, a very impressive blow at the end there to knock Michael out of the way when you guys were trundling across the line. Another very exciting night for you, loads going on, but those walls caught you out a few times, didn't they? We noticed a bit of damage on the car every so often.
Oh yeah, the walls, they came quick at me at first in the first race, and hell, man, I had so much car trouble during the qualifying, during the race. I had no idea how to control the cars over the bumps, which is at approximately every apex and every braking point. So I had a major problem with that, which I solved at the end, which I was really happy about.
Well, I was going to say, it's one of those sort of tracks where survival is quite key, isn't it? You know, if you can just keep your pace on a sort of 95% level, then as long as you get to the end, you're probably going to finish quite well, because this is the sort of track where it can really throw up a big sort of surprise in the championship, can't it?
Oh, absolutely. This was truly a, how can you say, it's a bit of a random race. Everyone can just hit the wall sometime and completely screw up the race, and sometimes even the amateurs can come and win, which we saw like race 1. I think we had 2 amateurs in P4 and 5. I love track like this. It's a gamble, and those are for me are the tracks that I absolutely love the most.
Are there any circuits on the rest of the calendar that stand out for you as we go forward? Because we've got some real belters. I mean, we go from Sandown to Manicourt, we then go to Japan, Twin Ring Motegi, and then finish at Daytona. Are there any of those that really take your fancy?
Oh, almost everyone that you just listed. Twin Motegi and I think Sandown are two of my 2 favorites, and of course Manicourt. So it's just Daytona that I'm not really fond about. The rest of the calendar I just absolutely love.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic works at some of these tracks, because in these cars the slipstream effect is there, but it's not huge, is it?
Oh, it's definitely not. But it's decent enough. It does what it's supposed to do, not more or less. I think it's perfectly balanced in these cars.
Yeah, certainly. It keeps the field together, but it's not like it doesn't make it a guaranteed overtake every time, which is quite interesting to watch. Jesper, it's been great to speak to you, mate. Another fantastic night for you. Loads of championship points. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to while we've got you live on air?
Absolutely. Crispy and Michael, of course. We have collaborated now in a couple races and absolutely love it. We laugh a lot during the race and stuff, and the team sponsors and just everyone organizing these kinds of events. It's a blast. I absolutely enjoy it.
Glad to hear it, mate. I enjoy broadcasting it as well, and hopefully we'll see you have some more strong results at the next round. We'll see you soon.
Oh, absolutely. Have a good one.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Lovely stuff. What a fantastic guy Jesper Eriksson is. Really, really nice guy to speak to, and very enthusiastic as well. And that's the thing with our drivers, you know, they all absolutely love it here on Chaz Draycott Media, and of course in the World Sim Racing World GR86 series. That is all we've got time for here tonight, though, from Long Beach. A very busy night where we saw Kirekis, Avdoka and Crisp take victories, with Zanune making a hell of a debut in the AM class, and Ian Manners taking his AM win, with Johansson grabbing a podium on his debut as well. That's all from me, though, here on Chaz Draycott Media. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you in a week's time at Sandown. Good night. Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The 3 wide again, Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across, they're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, you can look and a drift to show out. All the way from back there. Go on ball with Ben Gregory now. I love it. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Anderson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.